Hey, everybody out there in Twitchland and over there on the YouTubes, welcome in. It's Monday. I thought it was Tuesday, and I thought I'd done all the Monday stuff, and then it wasn't Monday anymore, it turned out. So, it means, of course, we're going to have a discussion about Super Rugby. How did it go this weekend? There's only 4 games this weekend, actually. Um, and those 4 games started out with the Hurricanes at home to the Waratahs. The Hurricanes, my team from Wellington, New Zealand, against the Waratahs from New South Wales, Australia. The blue, what do they call the blue? The Waratahs. Where anyway, the blues against the yellow, blue against yellow, and oh boy, it was a good first half. It was like 20 points to 5 at halftime. And then full-time score 57-12. Hurricanes smash their way through to a huge win with the bonus point. We're back on track. Top 6 is within our sights. Looks like we can make the playoffs, and we should be good if we can keep this up from now on. The next game up was the Brumbies at home to the Highlanders. The men from the south of New Zealand went across to the ACT, the Australian Capital Territories, to play the boys from Canberra, and they went down. It was a fairly dour game, 34-27. Perhaps the score seems a little better than what the action really was. Bonus point loss for the Highlanders. Brumbies win at home. Good, cool for the Brumbies. Bummer for the Highlanders. We need to be the New Zealand teams need to be beating Australian teams to have any chance of getting 4 in the top 6. But also, New Zealand teams need to be beating the Australian teams just to stay on top of the flow of points in the championship in the New Zealand conference, because the expectation is that New Zealand teams beat Australian teams, and then it's just the derbies that separate them. So if you can't win against the Australians, then that leaves you in a tough place on the table. We talk about the Crusaders last. Then over in Australia, in very wet conditions at home in Brisbane, the Reds beat the Force 28-24. The Force looked really good, but the Reds were better on the day in the rain in Brisbane. Again, not a huge amount to be said about that game, but oh boy, the Crusaders at home to Moana Pacifica. The Crusaders, who were in second place going into the weekend, looking for a chance to lock up first position. The Chiefs had the weekend off. They had the bye week, so the Crusaders could have leapfrogged them, gone into first, and Moana Pacifica languishing on the bottom of the table. So last place playing the team that's in second place and really had a shot, had an intent, had a thought that they could make it to first place. And the first half was bad. The second half was terrible for the Crusaders. The rugby was fantastic. Moana Pacifica were absolutely on fire. They just destroyed systems. They just came on like a wave and just like poured over top of all of the structure and that the Crusaders had. And they couldn't get it out of their heads to play any different. So they just kept playing the structures, which were getting beat up. And at 45-29, Moana Pacifica just missed out. A late try to the Crusaders stopped them from getting a bonus point win there, but a win to the Moana Pacifica, a loss to the Crusaders at home, and not even a bonus point loss for them. This is superb for me because I don't like the Crusaders, because they just win all the time. And I think that some of their players are dirty, in particular their captain, the one Barrett that I don't like. And I wouldn't be sad to see him not make the All Blacks, although Razor Robertson, the All Blacks coach, was the Crusaders coach up until very recently, and Scotty is Razor's guy, so I don't think there's any chance of him not making the All Blacks. He's captain last year, I believe, certainly at times. Anyway, they They were lackluster. They were off the pace. They were not reacting to the changing situation. They were not playing good heads-up rugby. Now, they didn't have Havili there, who has been their general. He's playing at 12, but he's kind of playing a number 10 kind of organizational role. They brought James, whatever his name is, the Australian, off the bench and into the starting lineup this weekend. I think he deserved that, and I don't think that he was the problem with the way the Crusaders played, although he'll probably pay the price for it. So that sucks for him. But they didn't have Havili, and it really showed. They are not a great team if they don't have a great general. Like this has always been the case with the Crusaders. They've had I had an interview on. Oh man, I'm getting old. I am struggling to remember names. Who? Alicia, are you able to look up an answer for me? No, I can just answer it. Richie Mo'unga. There we go. Richie Mo'unga. Mo'unga was their general and really ran that team for a very long time and ran them very well. They've got this like world class forward pack that at times were like the whole forward pack were All Blacks, but without their general to drive them around, they are not good. And they don't have one at the moment. Mo'unga's gone off to play in Japan, and Havili has been covering this year. Last year was like they were better when he was on the field, but last year was messy for the Crusaders. I think that they're in trouble without a good 10. I don't think they're good without a good 10. And James was too fresh to the team. Like it's his first season with the team. And he probably doesn't have the confidence in that position there with the Crusaders, and the Crusaders perhaps don't have the confidence in him, not only as a first season, but as an Australian. He's not even from New Zealand, let alone having come up through the Crusaders ranks. And without Havili there to drive them, I think they really paid for it. I think that was like the whole thing, probably, because they couldn't adapt. And the forward pack are just not rugby smart enough to see it and do it themselves. They needed somebody at the back to make the calls for them, and James wasn't getting it done. The halfback Hotham, and then I am getting old. I'm getting fucking old. I can't remember names. I'm struggling. I couldn't remember Morgan Freeman's name at trivia last week. Like, it was God. Like, that was all I could think of. It's God. Yeah, so Crusaders, I think that's a wake-up call for them. I don't know if it changes, if they get better because of it, but I hope that they recognize how vitally important it is for them to have that general there, and they don't have a good one at the moment. Speaking of not having generals, the Hurricanes played without Gregory, Harry Godfrey, and that was a bit of a surprise. Ropati, was it Ropati? Did a good job at 10, but I'm surprised that they rested Godfrey for that one. Maybe he's injured. Anyway, where does that leave us on the standings? So the Crusaders did not win, therefore they didn't get any points. They're still on 19. Had they got the 4 points, they would have gone to 23. 5 points, they could have gone to 24, which would have put them in the lead. But instead, the Reds, with their 4-point win over the Force, do leapfrog. We have an Australian team at the top of the table. Brumbies are the second Australian team. They've got 7 games played, so they're ahead there. That 19 score probably isn't very reflective of anything much. And then the Waratahs are in there. Waratahs probably in a better position than the Brumbies, honestly, with 6 played in 4-1 versus 7 played in 4-1. We'll all play the same number of games by the end of it, um, so I think that'll shake out the Waratahs are looking in a better position than the Brumbies, and that probably is your top 3 Australian teams. Right now we have Chiefs in second, Crusaders in third, and then the Hurricanes in 7th. And that's your top 3 New Zealand teams. Hurricanes with 3 wins from 6 games, Highlanders with 2 wins from 6 games, the Blues with only 1 win from their 6 games. The Hurricanes will go ahead of the Force. I don't see any problem with that as the rest of the season shakes out, and you play every team. So there are 11 teams. How are there 11 teams? Australians. Oh yeah, there's only 5 teams. There's only 4 Australian teams, 5 New Zealand teams, and then 2 Pacific Island teams. There's not 5 teams from Australia there. So there's 11 teams. So everybody plays everyone else. That's 10 games. And then you play within your conference. You play home and away, which is interesting because the Australian conference is smaller. So I don't know how that is all worked out. That suggests that the New Zealand teams have 1 more game, although maybe they just don't play everyone home and away. Yeah, it's odd numbers, so that doesn't add up. Anyway, so that leaves us with about 14 games in the season, and we're halfway through. Some of the teams have got 7 games played. Most of the teams have only got 6 games played. So we've got a way to go here. And I do think that the run home, the Hurricanes are going to move up that table there. The Crusaders could move down if they don't get their shit together. Brumbies and Waratahs are looking pretty good. The Force are looking good, actually. I don't know what their run home looks like. It's possible that if they have a good bracket for the back half of the season, they could be challenging the Waratahs, but I do think that we're going to end up with the 3-3 split, which is great. And if we end up with an Australian team on top, that's excellent for the game. And they will be loving that. Having the New Zealanders have to go over there for at least some of the semis, some of the finals, some of the playoffs, quarters, semis, finals. It's only 6 teams making the playoffs, so it must be the top 2 seeds skip the quarterfinals, go straight to the semis. Yeah, so the current standings are after 7 rounds. The Brumbies have not had their bye yet, so they have played all 7 rounds. The Force have not had their bye yet, so they have also played all 7 rounds. Everyone else has had a week off, so they've played 6 rounds. That leaves the Reds 6 played 5-1 with 23 points, top of the table. The Chiefs with 6 played 5-1, 22 points. One of their wins was not the blowout win that they needed. The Crusaders have 6 played 4-1, and they are on 19 points. The Brumbies have 7 played and 4-1. That leaves them on 19 points as well for the 4 wins and close loss or whatever it is that they've got there. But with an extra game played. Waratahs 6-4, the same, but less bonus points, so they are sitting on 17. The Force at 7 played 3-1. They have 15 points. So some good bonus points going for them there. The Hurricanes with 3 games won have 14 points, but they have played 1 less game, 6 games played. Highlanders have 6 games played. Moana Pacifica has 6 games played. They've both got 2 wins. Highlanders have more bonus points, so they're on 12 points, and Pacifica are on 10 points. That's the Hurricanes, the Highlanders, Moana Pacifica, and the Blues and Fiji and Drua make up the bottom half of the table and not currently in the running for a playoff berth. So the Blues played 6 games, won only 1. That is last year's winners. The Blues are last year's winners, and they are at 6-1 with 3 bonus points. So either on their one win, they won by a long way. I don't think they did. Or in 3 of the 5 losses, they lost barely. And I think that's worth noting because you've got 6 games played, 1 game won, but 3 of them you only just lost. Like, you could have won that, and it could have like completely changed everything. They could be at 6-4, and that's where the Crusaders are, and up there in 3rd position. So it's it's a fickle old game, rugby. It's like the bounce of the oval ball, right? Yeah, it's kind of ugly on the Blues at the moment. I think they can improve that position. I think Moana Pacifica and the Highlanders and the Force are probably going to go down. The Blues might go up a position or 2, but I don't think they can make the playoffs at this point. They can't make top 6. So we will see how that all goes. I am super excited about this season. This weekend's games were not so much. There's only 4 of them, and only one team that I really cared about, although it was lovely to see the Crusaders lose as well. So it's always good to see the Crusaders lose. But only the Hurricanes was what I really cared about. The Blues and the Chiefs were both off this week, so it was a bit of a quiet one around here. The season will play out, and I'm excited about it. The game has been excellent this year. The minor rule changes and some different ways that they're going to interpret those rules. They've sped up the breakdowns. They've stopped all the pissing around at scrums and lineouts, where the forwards will just want to stand around and catch a breather. No, we'll just play that game, and we're allowing fitness and exhaustion to play a significant part in the way games are playing out, and I love it. I love it. All right, jumping into Astroneer now. So I think that the Chiefs will probably end up on top. The Reds will from the Chiefs from New Zealand will probably end up on top. The Reds from Australia likely to be second. This would be my projections. Who knows exactly how it'll go, but these are my projections at the moment, which would put... Oh, I'd love it if the Brumbies were 3rd, and then the Chiefs 4th, the Crusaders 4th, sorry, the Hurricanes 5th, and the Waratahs 6th. It would be great if the Hurricanes could get into the top 4. That would give them a home quarterfinal, which would be useful, but they won't play at home any other time in the finals after that. So it's a minor advantage at that point. I don't know that they can make it to 4th. So 5th would be good. 6 is almost as likely as 5th, to be honest. But I think those are the top 6. Like, it could change, but I think those are the top 6. 3 Australians, 3 New Zealanders. The home and away thing really means that they're more likely to be 3 teams from each conference than not. It would have to involve a serious blowout, and I just don't think any of the teams are at that kind of strength this year to cause the kind of blowout that would be necessary for there to be 4 teams from either country and 2 from the other one. Okay, Glitchwalkers. Dark horses that can make it to push the top 6. There's always a possibility of a dark horse. Moana could be the dark horse. What is going on with my mouse? There we go. Moana are in 3rd from the bottom, in 8th. In 9th at the moment. I suppose there's a possibility that they could turn on an incredible season. They've got some great players. They're number 10. Peregrini is really excellent. Great find. So I suppose Moana could be a dark horse, but the Force dark. So no, I'm not sure about my predictions at all. The Force could definitely make it. The Highlanders could definitely make it. The Moana Pacifica at an outside could make it. Like it's not. It wouldn't be impossible. It would be kind of crazy for Moana Pacifica to make the top six. But to do it, they've got to go really well, and some things have to go very badly for some other teams. So we'll see. I'm not convinced it's a lock-in at this point, but I do think that those six that I named are probably the ones. All right. So I've made some progress in Glitchwalkers, and I actually don't know which pieces of the process are from Glitchwalkers, but we have the glitch here now, and we're ready to go in it. So, the text says, hey, I'm going to be straight with you. I got no idea what's on the other side of that thing. Security around. Blitz is a hacker who's hacking the instances that we're training in here. Is intense. My sync with it ain't great. We might have trouble communicating. To be honest, I ain't even sure if any of your gear will survive the trip. Not what you want to hear, I know. You can back out now if you want. Just the fate of the entire ATP at your at stake here. Alright. So all I have to do is walk through the glitch. Do I have everything on me that I want to have on me? I've got oxygen, I've got... Well, we'll see. I might not have any of it when I get to the other side of the glitch, but here we go. Oh. Well, that didn't do much. Oh. Don't walk through it. Go up and press use on it. Dun dun dun. Inside the space station. Printers? No printers. Uh-oh. Oh wait, that's the starting space. Wait, I'm starting over. I'm starting over. Dude, look, that's a face. Oh. This is a planet. The Boolean Fields. Welcome to Luz. Blitz has taken control of this instance of the ATP and has hacked your catalog, bytes, and the planet, including moving resources, spawning more hazards, and placing harsh terrain. Travel to the center of the planet to stop the nefarious plans. Read Frank's log attached to the habitat. Glitchwalkers is a standalone DLC with a new spin on the classic Astroneer gameplay. This DLC is a new save file. This content is meant to be challenging. Want a break? You can switch back to your main game save file via the main menu at any time. Want to invite friends who own Astroneer? They can play Glitchwalkers for free with you. So if you have Astroneer, even if you haven't bought the Glitchwalkers DLC, you can join somebody who has bought the Glitchwalkers DLC. That would be me. And I have nothing. So we are starting from absolute zero. Alright. That's fine. Initiate reboot. In case of emergency, Vault Seeker, Vault, Rootkit, Cypher, Ruby, Storm, Hotspot. Yep, we did. Oh, those are mentioned. We did. These are all the things we did. Counter hack key, gateway shards, power gateway, knockout blitzers, firewall, repeat. Okay. Research Catalog Restoration. The research catalog is a hot mess since breaking into Blitz's instance. Here's what you need to know. Locked. Can be unlocked with bytes. Hacked. May be restored with a rootkit and then unlocked with bytes. I don't know if you can get all your files back. Some of the hacked blueprints may be too damaged to recover on Aeolus. That's a lot of vowels. A-E-O-L. I think it's an L. Maybe it's an I. U-Z. Z. 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 But with any luck, most of the files may still be salvageable. Aeolus ain't a place that exists outside the ATP. This is a custom job. It's like a planet within a planet within a planet. Gateways still exist and are serving as terminals that provide protection for the firewalls around Aeolus's core. If we could counter-hack the gateways and power them, we might be able to overload the firewalls and shut them down. I ain't sure yet what Blitz is cooking up, but you can be sure it ain't good. I'm seeing massive power surges from Aeolus's core right now, and that's got me worrying. The firewalls are one thing, but the core security is on another level. If I can get enough information from the storms, I might be able to scrap together some special counter-hack keys to bust up Blitz's plans. Vaults and the decipher. Blitz may control this instance, but if we can tap into some of the data holding this planet together, we can fight back. To do that, you'll need a rootkit. I'm packaging up the ones I scraped together and sending them through in protected vaults. Hopefully with the vault encryption I installed, we'll keep Blitz out long enough for you to grab them. Storms. Storms is where we got the data in the first place. We had to make a thing called Ruby and then put it in a storm and collect the data to get us to here. The storms on Aeolus ain't anything like the storms we used to have on the ATP for mission training. These ones ain't natural weather phenomena. They're more like computer viruses. Stepping into one without some kind of storm protection is a fool's game. They'll drain your life support system in an instant if you're not going in prepared. Unfortunately, outside the basic protection I can give you through the rootkit, you'll need to collect storm data from the storms and feed it to the decipher to get more protection. You don't have to maximize your storm protection, but the more data you get from those storms, the easier this place will be to navigate. As a bonus, we can generate counter-hack keys from the gateway terminals with enough storm data in hand. Okay, strategy for resources. So, well, the first goal is to get more research. We need research. Oh gosh, I got nothing. Wow, okay. So first thing I need then is to be able to make some tethers, because I can't even walk away from the base right now. So I need to see if I can find some compound. There's resin over there. That's going to be important quickly. Ah, there's some compound. Alright, let's go get some compound. Hold your breath. That was bad. Don't dig a hole that you fall in. Alright. Running out of oxygen. But that's alright. My backpack's full. We got compound. That's an excellent start. Okay, so let's start with making tethers. Let's make a couple of stacks of those. That'll allow me to at least move around without dying. And we'll store the tethers of the compound here. So let's where was that compound? Oh, there's more compound over there. So let's lay out a line of compound of tethers to the compound. That'll allow me to get more compound for more tethers later, and then let's lay out a line over to the resin, because that's going to be the next thing I need for a printer. That's me full of organic and resin, so I can start with a printer now, and then I better get some power going. We have missions. VPN message: find a vault, obtain alpha rootkit, and no rewards. Okay. Oh no. I can't even make a small printer. Oh, wow. That's hacked. It's not just that I don't have the bytes for it, it's that I, like, can't even unlock it. Alright, so, gotta find a rootkit. Wowee. Oxygen filters I can make, small canister I can make, good. So let's put that onto the gun, that'll allow me to flatten things now. I can make a small generator, so I can make power, but without a printer there's nothing really to power, so that's somewhat irrelevant. Okay, let's see if I've got a compass that tells me anything. Yes, okay, so that tells me about a rootkit, which is a little bit below my level, straight towards the storm. So that's this thing here. There's two different storm things? That's weird. Updated. Find vault. Hold to activate. Hold to resupply. Activate the vault to access vault keys. Rotate the piece and correct key. Rotate the piece, the correct keys? What? Activate the vault to access the vault keys. Rotate and place the correct keys into proper position to access the alpha rootkit. Okay. Resupply? What does it get supplied with? Does it need power? Laterite right at the surface here. That's interesting. So that's aluminium. This thing. How do I resupply it? Resupply what? That is an alpha key, okay. How do I rotate? Z, okay. let's look at this one. That doesn't appear to be the right one there. That doesn't appear to be the right one there. Oh, yes it is. Yes it is. Alright. One done. Okay, cool puzzle. I got it now. I got it now. And that leaves just one more. It goes there, just not. Yeah, there we go. Alright, so now I get an alpha rootkit. What do I do with that? Use in TheJuspar. What is TheJuspar? TheJuspar up here somewhere? I don't think so. Nope. Oh, bother. I just killed the source of my limited research. Or at least the most convenient one. Not the only one by a long stretch. Most convenient too. Look at that. Well done. TheJuspar, well done. Way to make a mess of that. Oh, interesting. I buried a tether and it just disappeared. Okay, so where's this? Is that the TheJuspar? It is the TheJuspar. Cool. VPN to message. Find a vault, obtain a rootkit, submit alpha rootkit to TheJuspar. If we're going to hack the hacker, we're going to access something called a rootkit, and the only way to find these is through the vaults I pushed over to Eloise for you. Only problem is they didn't drop where I expected them. Track down the Alpha Vault, marked it on your compass, start there. So here's a plan. Find the Alpha Vault, get the rootkit from it, put it in the old decipher. Once you've done that, the rootkit will provide you with a bit of storm protection and restore the functionality of some of your blueprints. As note, you'll have to solve for the encryption out on each vault to get the rootkit. The keys may have gotten jumbled in the transfer. Oh, no. You'll have to solve for encryption on each root. The keys may have got... Okay, that's all right. I thought he was saying that the keys might not be with the rootkit that they are supposed to unlock. That would have been a problem. Okay, ready to collect. Schematic beacon, schematic ruby, schematic portable decipher. Send it. Schematics. Okay, so now let's see if I can... The small printer is now unlocked. Good. So let's print... Oh, it's unlocked. It's not just... Man, so much stuff just locked. The auto arm is locked. Medium printer is unlocked. Oxygenator is unlocked. Wow. So it's just like nothing. Research is unlocked. Smelter I can learn, but the large printer is hacked, and so soil centrifuge. Chem lab I could unlock if I had the bytes for it, but not the atmospheric condenser. Centrifuge is so useful because it allows you to produce stuff instead of having to hope you can find it. Large platform Bs are already available. That's good. Medium printer. So let's print a small printer. What was my power options? Small generator is unlocked. Power cells are hacked. Small solar and small wind I could get to. Small batteries I could get to, but it's going to cost me points I don't have. That's okay. Alright. Small drill mod requires ceramic. Don't have clay yet, so there's no point unlocking that. Boost I don't need. Man, I guess I've been producing some small generators then. Without an auto arm, that could be ugly. Auto arm is... Nope, I don't want... Compound. Oh, was I off the oxygen there? That's not good. We're doing a whole lot of basics. A whole lot of basics. power is going to be a problem. Smelting furnace, research chamber, large platform, and power's gonna kill me. Oh no, there's a generator in my pocket that's burning fuel. Alright, 4 generators, and we're plugged into the main base. It's not going to produce a lot of energy. I think it only produces 1, in fact. Oh, I could produce the hoverboard if I could find an exo chip, but I would need power. Okay, so now I'm going to need resin to get some... platforms going so that I can put the smelter and the research chamber up. No, not knowledge is going to be the initial sticking factor. Actually, I would have thought knowledge was going to be the initial sticking factor, but it's not. So many things are just locked away that simply gathering knowledge is not going to be enough. Okay, so this one, first thing it needs to do is produce a platform. Yes. Yeah, no renewables power, and no... And I'm locked out of getting the automation which would allow the plant-based power to renew. So, the relatively small scale power here to run everything on. And to preserve fuel, I've got to be, like, actively watching it and turn all the generators on and off just when I need them. Not leaving anything laying around. Not leaving power running that's doing nothing. It's like real life. I've got to go around turning all the lights off behind everyone. Oh, speaking of real life, shoot. I gotta go. I've got to pick up a kid.